Okay, everybody, here we go. It's me, Gregory Mannarino, post-market report. I'm still, this stuff wipes me out. It sucks my freaking will out. So, yes, post-market wrap-up on this Wednesday, August 16, 2023. We got so much to talk about. BlackRock, the Federal Reserve, this spiking in the 10-year yield, this market again falling under pressure, and then the propaganda. You can't get away from it, especially, CNBC's got to be, I mean, they're all bad. Bloomberg, I'm talking about the financial channels and, Fox Business, but I think CNBC takes the cake. They just really do. Uh, it's always some kind of thing with these freaks over there. But anyway, let's start off with this market. So forget about stocks for a moment. We got a 10-year yield that's getting out of control. As a matter of fact, the 10-year yield just hit a 15-year high. Okay. Clearly, the market doesn't like this. You and I have known about this for quite a while. The MMRI, 274.4, 274.4. It does not appear as if the cavalry's arriving, although it did seem like that earlier today, didn't it? Earlier, the stock market off to the races, a triple digit, almost a 200-point gain for the Dow. All that reversed. We finished down about 200, I think 180, on the back of what we got out of the Federal Reserve and BlackRock, which we will talk about. So, yes, this just something really bad going on, with Michael Burry here. Most of you know this guy, a Big Short fame. Michael Burry took a tremendous bet against the market. And his timing here, if he's right, is impeccable. But I know he's watching risk like we are. There's just no way a guy's going to put a bet like that against the market and not watch risk here. It's an impossibility. Anyway, so bravo to him. So far, he's making a little money, it looks like. But anyway, so risk in this market is very close to extreme. We are, what are we? About less than 26 points on the MMRI from extreme risk. Now, again, risk doesn't necessarily mean that this market's going to melt down at any moment, although what have we seen, people, since MMRI 250? We've seen this. Market doesn't like it, all kinds of pressure. I think we've had maybe one positive day, maybe two, since MMRI 250. We're at 274.4. And then we get this talk out of the Federal Reserve, which we're going to talk about. But let's stay with the market here real quick. Cryptos also fell under pressure today pretty much across the board. Gold and silver under pressure. Crude oil fell 2.25%. You and I have been talking about this. We've been talking about this since crude 84. Okay. We're getting that pullback that we clearly need. It's also in la land. But again, for crude oil bulls, this is looking very lovely to me. We're going to bottom out. We're going much higher moving forward. There's just no doubt in my mind that's where we're going. So, and I would love to hear from those of you that there are a lot of you that trade crude exclusively, and I want to hear from you on this anyway. The story today really, again, although you turn on Fox Business and Bloomberg, and especially CNBC, they want you to focus like a laser beam on the stock market, more specifically the Dow. Forget about that. Okay. You and I are too smart for that. We're watching the driver here of this market, and that is the debt market. The debt market is selling off at what appears to be an alarming pace. Okay. If this keeps up, it's party over. Michael Burry is going to be the richest guy in the world. Okay. That's the truth here. Anyway, so let's talk. I don't know where to start with this stuff here. I was just jotting some stuff down. Market on the edge, and that's clearly where we are. Let's do this. You and I have spoken about several times about the increasing threat to the U.S. dollar's dominance around the world. This threat is getting bigger and bigger. And more ominous. Okay. Now, I understand A lot of you want to see the dollar collapse. I get it. A unit of debt. We don't own these things run by the Federal Reserve. They own it. We owe it back to them plus interest. But again, the threat to the dollar is a threat to your life. I want you to understand that. The Federal Reserve will not take this lightly, okay? They will point the entire military might of the United States at any inward or outward, you understand, to preserve the U.S. dollar. So I want you to be very careful what you wish for. I think we're going there anyway. Thank you, Frank. I really appreciate it. It's going pretty well. How's it going for you? Expanding war, more death, more suffering, and everything else you could possibly imagine and things you can't even dream about. Just remember this. Nothing is what it seems to be. Nothing is what it seems to be. You got to dig under it. You got to look. And the truth is actually always hidden in plain sight. You will all know that. Something else kind of interesting and very sad. So the suicide rate has now hit a record high here in the United States. The suicide rate is hitting a record high. I guess that's a sign of a booming economy. We're doing so well. People are so great right now that they're committing suicide at, their highest rate in history. Thank you, Melanie. Yeah, exactly. Fist bump. I'm with you on that. What do you guys think about this? Look, just look this up for yourself. This Google Deep Mind AI that is going to be offering people life advice. Interesting. Deep Mind. What do you think about that? Let us move forward here, people. Let's talk about BlackRock. Okay, BlackRock, the largest investment institution on the planet, like $9 trillion under management. It's a pretty big number. Okay. So BlackRock, I'm laughing because it's kind of funny, is warning that the United States economy is going to stagnate. I don't think stagnate comes even close to where we are right now. Our economy is in free fall. It's collapsing around the world. But you see, so I guess they have to worry, I guess, about people pulling their investments. So they're going to tell you it's stagnating. But we are way beyond that. Thanks, Mitch. I appreciate that. Exactly. It's funny, isn't it? The economy is ghoulish. So BlackRock warns U.S. economy is going to stagnate from here until freaking wherever. And I think the economy is going to free fall much faster as we move forward here, as whatever else they're going to throw at us, this crisis, that crisis, this false flag, this whatever event they want us to, focus on at that moment, and then tell us some completely obviously, fabricated story to get us to believe that what they're saying is true. Speaking about that, let's turn to the Federal Reserve here. The Federal Reserve is doubling down on its, what I believe to be one of the biggest lies in the financial world. And you and I called out this lie on day one. I mean, go back to my videos when we were talking about, okay, the Fed's going to raise rates and they're going to control inflation. It's going to go down. It was going to be temporary. It was going to be transitory, whatever it might be. You and I laughed. We said, this is in no way this is going to be transitory, temporary, or anything else. And we said here, right in this video, I said if they can raise rates from here to whoever the freak they want, it's not going to make a difference, because that's not the problem here. Okay, what's gone on since the meltdown, the last market meltdown, 2008, the freaking Ben Bernanke, it's contained. You remember all that, all those lies? How come he was never held to account? No, the guy gets paid $1 million to open his pie hole to give speeches. $1 million per speech. Okay, the guy who helped destroy the entire world and get people thrown out into the streets as banks were repossessing their properties and everything else. He's convinced us that it was all contained. Remember that? Yeah, he's out laughing. He's laughing. He's probably watching this video laughing right now. Anyway, this whole thing is just so freaking screwed up. Going back to the Federal Reserve. You and I have known since day one this was not work. They're going to raise rates, central banks. How many of you think it's just a chance? Really, I want to hear from you. What did we have just last week? The Federal Reserve, the ECB, and the Bank of England do the same exact thing. 25 basis points. 25 basis points. That's because they don't communicate. They don't talk to each other. They don't coordinate their efforts. Of course, they're doing that. But again, they're not doing this to fight inflation at all. Inflation is going to continue to rise as central banks continue to solidify their power around the world. These organizations run the earth. Okay? Whatever else you think ain't true. It's them. They run the earth. They are planning everything. They're the ones that are deciding the fate of humanity right now. These organizations control it all, the flow of information, even the propaganda. It's whatever they want to put out. They want you focused on this. They want you focused on that. It's the central banks. They are responsible for it all. Okay, that's the truth. Now, so calling out, doubling down on their lie. Okay, they're really concerned. They're really concerned. This was the Fed minutes today that inflation is running hotter than they expected. They really? How come you and I knew that this was? We are not even Federal Reserve presidents or Federal Reserve economists, but you and I have known that this is going to get where it is, and even much, much worse. But you see, they didn't see it coming because, of course, they can't tell you. They're engineering this now. Again, raising rates, all it's doing as the economy continues to crater around the world is cutting off the availability of credit to small businesses to fulfill the corporate agenda and destroy the consumer. That's it. If central banks really wanted to control inflation, people, what would they do? Right? Do you realize we don't have a fractional reserve system? We had a fractional reserve. We have a zero reserve system right now. If the Fed and other central banks were to even just fractionally have, no pun intended, these institutions, the major banks, increase their reserve requirement above zero, we would contract the money supply a little bit, and it would control inflation. But no, they're not doing that because their goal is to inflate. So they're doubling down on the lie. Again, I'm sweating. Do you realize how freaking I'm sweating? It's got to be worth a few thumbs up here. Okay, 422 people. Let's work on that. So again, look, you and I, we got this down. We've known this stuff. I mean, people could look back on, this is not my thing. This is our thing, on our thing, going back as far as you want to go. And we got it right. We called it right across the board. We have said this would happen. This would be the most likely scenario. And bang, it has happened. Not all the time. Okay. You and I, again, what are we doing? We're playing a game of incomplete information, but we are smart enough to able to see what's going on and try to figure out what the most likely outcome is going to be. And I think we pretty much nailed it to the wall, honestly, going back as far as you want to freaking go. Look who's here today. Everybody here. Perry, Frank, Lord Humongous. Dude, when you don't show up, I get nervous. All right. Magic Mika's here. Lava's here. Everybody's here. Anyway, people, look, I know I'm sitting here and I'm preaching to the choir on all this, but look, you and I remain on the right side of this. Okay, betting against the debt, becoming our own central bank. We've been doing this for over 10 years. Understanding what's going on, where this is going, but things are a lot worse. I mean, honestly, then I think myself, I can say honestly, some things have come to light for me as of late, and I'm saying things are just a lot worse than we could possibly have imagined what they actually are. But and what they have coming at us is just frankly diabolical. And I think we're pretty much all on the same page here. Anyway, it's a road to somewhere, Howard. Road to serfdom, road to slavery on an unimaginable scale. And people are walking themselves into the slaughter, as they always do, willingly, hoping things are going to be different, not taking action. Again, there's no accountability at all. I mean, that blows my mind. People complain. Prices are rising, blah, blah, blah. What are they doing? They're going out and shopping. They're spending. They're maxing out those credit cards. Then they wonder why they're destitute and desperate. And they got nowhere to go. They don't got a pot to piss in. They're living freaking paycheck to paycheck. And they wonder how they got there. Make it up. Make any of this stuff up, people. Honestly. I tell you. What can I tell you? I mean, we covered so much here today. This video is going on 15 minutes. I'm going to probably conclude this here, honestly, pretty soon. All right. I don't know what else to say. I want to hear from you on this stuff that we spoke about here. Please comment. Please share this stuff, people. Get it out there. I mean, I always talk about a revolution. That revolution starts here with you and me. We raise awareness, our own awareness, and we keep paying attention to what's going on. And then we try to get this information out there so people can listen to it. It may take a while, but I really think this is the best chance that we have of raising awareness to people, to tell them what's happening to them. Some people aren't going to care. Some people, no matter what you do, it ain't going to make a difference. They're just incapable. Some people can see a little further down the road than the next guy. You and me and everyone that follows this blog, I think, have that ability to look at the current situation, realize who the players are, realize what they want, their goals, and it makes our life pretty simple. You know what I'm saying? I think it makes sense to all of us, right? Anyway, people, that's going to be it. We're going to call it here today. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for those thumbs up. We're at 645. I so appreciate that. Thank you, RM5. I appreciate you too. I appreciate all of you so much. What about China? I mean, this whole thing, it's coming apart. Meanwhile, I mean, look, we're on a pathway to human suffering on a biblical level. Again, they got things planned for us that we have no idea, but it's going to lead to more suffering and a lot more war. So just count on these things. There's just no doubt about it. That's where we're going right now. And it's a very sad situation, honestly. All right, people, this guy here loves you a lot. I appreciate you all. Again, share this stuff, comment. Those thumbs up are so valuable. I will see all of you in the morning. And, you know, I don't care what they do. Again, yes, this stuff gets to me. It makes me freaking sweat and I get all worked up. I'm going to vapor lock here one day, but we got each other's backs. We got each other's backs. And that to me is the most important thing. And we're making a difference. I really believe that too. We're making a difference in the world by getting this stuff out there, by letting people understand. Look, I don't want to convince anyone of anything. I want people to look at step back for a moment. Watch my videos for X amount of time and then do your own research. Thank you, Howard. People should always do their own research. People know the truth. Going back to my old friend, Greg Hunter, people know the truth when they hear it. I believe that's true. I really, really do. All right. I'll see you all in the morning. All right. I gotta change. Maybe take a shower. I'll see you.